What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Trey, my man Bishop. First Formation Morning Sports Talk. Are you here? Ready to go? Y'all already know what it is. Coming fall in with us. That's Bishop's side. I'll let him get to it. Bishop, what's good with you this morning, fam? What's going on?
WGO, what's going on with y'all? How y'all doing on this Friday? It is actually the weekend. I'm still here in a Cozumel, living the life of Cozumel, Conamel, whatever. My wife over there shaking that.
Akuma Matata.
Akuna Matata,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
all
yeah.
that, all the above. I'm in Mexico still and here for a few more days, man. But I'm enjoying it right now. I'm here with my boy Trey
It
in
ain't no
his first
chef.
formation.
Where's Chef
Oh,
at?
he's on his way. He should
Okay,
be coming here
I feel like
soon.
he's a part of the show now at this point. I mean, like, so,
Really, that's what we doing. The chef
yeah,
is
yeah.
part
So,
of the show now. That's what we
it's part
doing.
of the show. Bringing
Really.
coffee to you in the living room with
No,
your
man,
feet
he's
kicked
on
up.
his way. He should be here soon. Uh, yeah, he made an amazing dinner last night. Amazing lunch. Yeah, he's just awesome, man. Come to find out, he's actually uh, prepared food for people like Michael Jordan,
Hmm.
um, Nancy Pelosi,
Okay.
Justin Bieber. So he's done some some people in which we all know well.
He's
So yeah,
he's the plug. Then we need to get him and get that MJ connection.
yeah. He definitely that dude. You know what I'm saying? That dude. And he said it was pretty cool, man. He said it was pretty cool to see him be able to meet him because he said what they do is they don't when they book rooms and stuff like or they come to areas like this, it
Hmm.
don't have their name. It's under an alias. So
Mm.
he said so when he comes, he says it could be Sean Davis, but when he walks in, it's Michael Jordan
Oh,
or
okay,
whoever it
okay,
may be.
okay, okay, okay.
So it's under an alias, so they don't never know. He said
You
he
never
never
know who you're
knows who
really
would
getting.
actually right because it could be. And he said he didn't know if it would be us or not. He said because they always book under an alias.
It's like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yes, sir. So, like you said, start with a little, saying that pigskin gridiron is literally 1 week away if you take in
Let's
consideration
go.
the Hall of Fame game. Gridiron 1 game away. But before we get into that, Bishop, conversation I came across this morning, the CFP.
Mm-hmm.
The CFP is very dear
Mm-hmm.
to us because we always talk
Yeah.
about,
College
saying our
football
college
playoffs.
footballs, yes, college football playoffs, in which, oddly enough, the Big Ten is the biggest supporter of expanding the field. Of course, expansion of the field, they wouldn't know what that would look like, but they still talk about it. 12 to 16 teams, or do you think that's too much? What do you think about the expansion of the CFP?
Because what we at now? What 10?
Four. No, we have four for the
Is it?
CFP.
Is it? Oh,
Only,
for the you talking about for the actual
yeah,
playoff, the
for the
four?
actual
Yeah,
playoff.
yeah,
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 not this postseason, the
yeah, yeah,
playoffs, not the
yeah.
bowl
Playoff,
games. I
playoff.
know we have the New Year's Six and all that type of stuff, but for
No,
the
yeah.
actual
Oh,
bowl games that determine the national champion, or do you
we
think
have
it's
four right now.
yeah? Do you
Six would be cool. I think six would be cool. Anything over six, I think, is over too much.
really? You don't think they
Now,
should?
yeah, because now I think anything over six, I feel like you're giving everybody an opportunity to try and get in it and win it. No,
Should
you
they?
got to work.
Do you think?
Yeah, no,
Okay, hear me out on
no,
this one.
man.
Hear me
In my
out on
opinion,
this one.
okay, okay,
Hear me out on this one. Do you think
okay.
at least each conference of the big five,
Mm-hmm.
their conference champion should get an automatic buy-in, and then you should get at least five buy-ins from the other five, and then two at large.
That's too much.
Too much?
No,
Everyone gets a
too
chance. Every
much.
champion gets a chance.
What? So if you win your conference, you should automatically be in.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, if you win your
Is that
conference,
is that for
but
the big five only, or the or everybody? The
yeah,
top.
because no, I say the big five only.
Wow, that's like segregation, the discrimination.
Really? How's that segregation or discrimination? No, because you have an opportunity to win your conference. That has that segregation or discrimination. You
But
have an
you don't have an
opportunity to win your
opportunity.
conference.
So
Win your conference. Just win your conference. That's all you got to do.
yeah,
Win your
but if
conference.
I'm not a big five, i.e., ACC, SEC, Big 12,
Big
Pac-12,
Ten
or
and
Big
Big
10,
Ten. Right.
then I don't have a chance of getting in when I'm probably better than some of those teams that are in. Notre Dame is
And
an
the
independent.
key word is you said probably. What team have you seen that's outside of the big five that you feel could probably really compete and win a national championship
So
outside of the big five
I think what we've been lied to all
outside of
our
Notre and outside of Notre
outside
Dame
Notre Dame. Yeah.
Notre Dame too.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I
yeah,
think what
because they're
has
not in the
happened is
conference.
we've been lied to all our college football watching careers of late, because what we have is um, situations where we deem that because of one game, this one game sets back everybody. So in essence, it's odd because let a team like Alabama, Georgia lose one game, and it doesn't set them back too far. But let a team like Cincinnati lose one game, then they drop out the top 25. So that type of stuff, when you say that, so being and saying that, when you ask what team has, Cincinnati just did it last year. For the most part, y'all
They
own.
did what?
They
What did
were
they do
they,
though?
they were formidable up until they played
Who?
Alabama.
Oh, there you go.
But so yeah, I get that. So
Okay.
and that you're saying, but I'm saying they were formatted up, and so it was one game, right? It was one
Right.
game. That doesn't mean that it
Right.
would have been the same outcome against any other team. Is what I'm saying. Before that, we always had Boise State. That was what it was, that other team. But one game set them back, which is usually in a conference or something like that. We can go to now. Y'all are the recipient of Dylan Gabriel, but his USF, University of South Florida, was that team at one point. One game set them back. So it's been Buffalo was a person that, so it's been different organizations. I mean, different squads that had the opportunities. Like you said, they've been very dominant within the conference or a case like that. But they compare them to the Big Five, and then that's like it's like when you sit and look at it, it's like, yes, I'm in the Big Five. I'm in the other five, but that doesn't mean that's just from conference wide from my school. But that doesn't mean I can't compete with y'all, or I can't be a player to compete. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, give everyone a chance to be on that stage.
Earn that chance. Earn it and earn it outright like everybody else. And I don't see it. I don't see it being a problem. Like I said, when it's all said and done, we've met. It's probably been years since we've seen, and I can't even recall the last time we even seen a national championship won by outside of the Big Five conferences. You know what I'm saying? It's been years since I can remember since the last time it happened. Um, so those are uh, those are things that just which I'm looking at and paying attention to. Ooh, excuse me. And then if that's the case, if you want to do it that way, then I say this right. I say five of the big. That's five team, big five, right? Five team. For that 16, somebody outside of the big five, and let them play it out. Somebody outside of the big five, let them play it out, and then if they make it in, they make it in.
So what we're not definitely like, and I completely get what you said, and what the what the realistic truth is that unless they open it up to a great amount of a good amount, you're not really going to even be able to satisfy. Because we can talk about, like you said, give all the conferences, the winning conferences, Big Five, their winner the automatic buy-in, because it's a one game situation. We don't know that one game might have been just a luck of the draw, and then you don't get someone in that really deserves to be in. And if you give those teams a couple at larges, because at larges is going to get some buy-ins to some teams. Like if Alabama wins the at large, I mean wins the buy-in, I mean wins the championship, or let's say Georgia wins the championship, what does the CFP look at without Alabama? So it's like, I said, because it's still money involved. So, but I think it would have to literally be like a open, like basically a Pandora's box of teams. We're talking about 16. I don't even think 16 gets the job done. I think it works. I know a couple of the ads and the presidents of the of in the Big Ten were
Mm-hmm.
discussing and saying that, saying they're open to 12, maybe even 16. but anything above that they
Mhm.
think is too much. So they were open to both 12 and 16. I think 16 fits the bill where you get some teams in.
16. That's too many teams, bro.
That's
That is
enough
way.
teams to make it
That's
happen.
way too many. That's way too many teams, bro. That's way too many teams, in
Don't
my
drink
opinion. That
don't drink the Kool-Aid, Bishop. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
no, that's way too many teams. Why do we need 16 darn teams to try and see who can be national champions?
You know why
That's
y'all need
crazy.
16 teams? Because
What?
now, when y'all go to the SEC, y'all will never have a chance again for the most part. So y'all better 16
Ooh, the
teams.
blasphemy.
You're going to need 16
Don't you
teams.
drink the Kool-Aid. Stop drinking
Oh,
the Kool-Aid. Leave the orange juice alone. This dude here, bro, the disrespect, bro. You fail to realize we have beat Alabama before.
in the national
We had
championships, you know,
they won international championship that year. We beat them. The year we beat them. We beat them in a bowl game, but they won the national championship. But we beat them in a bowl game. So I mean,
aren't, aren't y'all,
that's the best team over there
wait, aren't y'all the same Oklahoma University, Oklahoma that lost to Boise State
on a
in a
fluke
bowl
play.
game?
Really, get
No,
out of here, bro.
that was not a
That,
fluke play. You know what? I think that was one
that
of compared to
that's
arguably.
one of the most fluke plays ever.
I would
Like, come
say
on,
this.
man.
Arguably, that was one of the best college football games I had ever seen. I had ever watched.
It was a good game. It was
It
damn
was
sure
a
a
hell
good
of a good,
game.
good day.
I was pissed. I was pissed for
I
a
mean, yes, of
while
course for
for that
you.
game. I was pissed that year. That up next year, I was pissed, bro, because
Oh,
there was no
it's
way
probably
Boise
like
State should
say
have beat us.
you probably had the same feeling that I had when I sit up and y'all was witness there because you act white y'all was all at my house. When Texas beat USC and like saying that was
Oh yeah,
I didn't watch highlights for like I didn't watch
yeah,
ESPN for like 3 weeks. Like I didn't want to see anything having to do with a national championship. So I can understand. And
yeah.
the fact
I
y'all
was,
let them stay pace with y'all, that was the thing. Like
yeah, yeah. Boise State, yeah. That was their Cinderella year, and they ain't did shit ever since. Nothing. Good morning,
what's
Key. How
good,
you
Key?
doing?
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, ma'am. How you doing?
Yeah,
Um,
they ain't done nothing ever since. Good morning, Chef. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, they ain't
yeah,
Boise State ain't done nothing since then either.
yeah. They slowly
They've
but
been
surely
ever
started to
since.
fall off. I think it was when
Yeah,
Peterson
they've
left them.
done nothing. Yeah, they've done nothing since then. So I mean, yeah, I'll give them their props. They got that. They got the dub. They got that win national championship. Yeah, that's probably the last time a team. I ain't want to mention it. I didn't know if you knew, but I knew. I remember because I ain't gonna never forget that. That's probably the last time that happened. That was probably
The
the last time
oh
that
yeah,
happened.
that's why I said Boise State. So yeah, that was a
Hmm.
high bowl game, but that was one of the years when they Boise State was on par where they was pushing them and they lost during the regular season to somebody. I think they lost in the batter or somebody like that, and that's what put them in
Hmm.
the at large to get the at large bid and to put up against y'all
Hmm.
in the bowl. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
when you take a look at NFL conversations, it's interesting, Bishop, very interesting how all of a
Mhm.
sudden Arizona folds under the pressure and the scrutiny of that contract addendum and remove it. It's no longer there.
Mm.
Nah, we not doing that, fam. That's not what we doing.
We're not doing what? What?
I,
What?
I
What
have
aren't we
questions.
doing, Trey?
I have questions here, man. I have questions
They knew
because
they was wrong for doing that. Ain't
what
had
was
never been done
wrong.
before. They knew they was wrong. They was wrong. You talking about again when like I stated before. You talk about the immaturity of Kyler Murray. That was a very immature move from the front office, from management.
So
You don't
why
do
was
that
that immature? Is it was okay?
because
Okay,
that's not how you handle business.
was doing it immature or was putting it in the contract immature?
Both.
Why?
Because you don't have to, you don't, because when it's all said and done, we spoke about this yesterday, Trey. When it's all said and done, there are certain things you don't have to say or put in black and white. You
You
can
do.
verbally communicate those. No, you don't. That's certain thing. We just talked about council statements. You don't necessarily have to put everything on a council statement for a soldier. You can verbally counsel them without ever putting anything in black and white.
And you
You
know
don't
what?
need that.
So this
That's an
is
immature. That's an immature act for me. That's how I look at it.
so that same
Because it
that
sounds
same thing.
petty. It sounds very petty.
So that same thing is hence the reason why we're having the problems that we're having as far as in the sport in sports with the owner from Washington Commanders. When he went through his trial and stuff like that, the investigator didn't put anything in writing. She only gave reports verbally, talked about it verbally, and there was nothing that was used to be able to backtrace and be like, okay, this is what you did. Which in terms now they're having to go through this all again because he's a habitual line stepper. That it's been coming out that he's been doing the same thing. So with that being said, what's up, Eric? What's good, fam? What's
What up? What up, fam?
yeah, thank you. Everything is in writing because, and that's what, I kind of get what Cliff Cleanberry was saying. He's like he's like he just gave my man a quarter of $1 billion. Like if they don't put it in writing, they have to put it like maybe not in the contract. Maybe the addendum shouldn't have been in the
No,
contract. Maybe it should have been off to where it could have been a private conversation and it's understood like this is what we got for you. We don't want to put in a contract because someone made the contract public.
right. But for
Here
me,
go,
that's just
here go Coach
that.
McClay with that. Here you go. I'm not being
But
cheap, Coach. I'm just trying to make sure you protect my
no,
interests.
but when it's all said and done, the two differences is we're talking about a gentleman who has broken a law
Okay.
compared to a gentleman who's you can't really compare the two. That's apples and oranges. It's two different things. You can't compare the two. When it's all said and done, we spoke about it. We can't give a better example than what we gave yesterday when it comes down to counseling soldiers. You don't need to put everything in the
Had you ever
contract. You don't
had you
need to
ever
put
had a
everything in on
yeah,
black
to
women.
protect the that, but that's the image. That's a protecting of the image. I'm trying to protect my interests, different eyes, in which we're talking about. So, was there ever a point in which you did not, like I talked about yesterday? Was there ever a point in which you didn't put something in writing, in which it came back and bite you later on?
No, not something that not that I can recall right off the top of my head. I can't say I have. Not right off the top of my head. Now, when we talking about counseling and of my soldiers and things like that, no, because I feel like there's other means to be able to get the message across on how you want your soldiers to perform correctly and how they should be performing. And necessarily does yes. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you do have to put pen to paper to get
Hmm.
people to act right. Don't get me wrong. You do after you've given
Point
them numerous verbal,
point made. Point made.
numerous verbal, yes, numerous verbal, um, verbal
What's good, Zach?
talks.
This fight.
What up, ma? Once you gave them numerous verbal talks and they still not getting right, then there's that issue. But the fact of the matter with Kyler Murray, we don't know that they've given him numerous verbal talks. We have no clue of that. We don't know any of that. And then the fact of the matter is, have you even now that you've said this, have you even given them the opportunity to fix the problem? Because this is the first we've heard of it. So have you even actually gave them an opportunity? We heard it last year during the season.
So this is
We
the
did.
first we've heard of it. So that doesn't mean that it
Right.
hasn't been said to us. It's just
I'm
now
not
we're
saying it,
hearing of it.
but
Yeah.
right.
Well,
But
yeah,
that's
that's what I
the
was going to
thing.
point out.
Have you?
That like this is the first we heard
Yeah.
of it, but it doesn't mean it hasn't
Right.
been brung up. It's just now it's
Right.
come to a point to where it's like, yo, we got to do something. Hence, because like you said, I don't think in any way, form, or fashion we put this addendum gets put in anyone's contract just off of one incident or just off of 1 year of not being able to see or having an issue with the individual doing it. I think, like someone asked yesterday, I think it was Wooten that asked yesterday, like, how do they even know that he's not studying? Is it because someone's snitching on him? Are they watching him? Or what is it that they're doing? So it's like, with that being said, like, you're true. You're right. I'm very sure I'm thinking that it wasn't just one potential incident to where they was like, you know what, you did this one time. We just think this is you as an individual, and we're going to go ahead with this contract, and we're going to set up and put this into the contract. I don't think that happened. I think without a clear, without a doubt, that he was a habitual line stepper in what he was being asked of him to do. He took it as, you know what I'm saying, took it as a joke and what they were saying, and was like, it probably felt a certain type of way, and then they did what they did. Now, because of all that, because felt like we should have been talking about them and their training camp. We're talking about them and this addendum that they put in, and which kind of got up yesterday. He said it was disrespectful. He said it was he said it was a joke. But in my opinion, it may have been disrespectful, but it has to come from a place. And sometimes disrespect gets attention. And I'm very sure they got his attention. So if he wasn't doing what he had to do when it came down to him studying, I rest assured that he's going to be doing it now. Even as far as to say that he was, and you brought up you brought it up too yesterday, Bishop, where he talked about how he was a two sport athlete in Oklahoma. Bro, that was 3 to 4 years ago. People change. Like I understand that as a baseline to talk about what you're doing, but that doesn't mean that's what you continue to be doing. You was a student in college that was starving, trying to get somewhere so you can make a better life for your family. Now you've been a millionaire for since 2017. I don't want to hear that stuff talking about what I used to do in college. We need to know what you're doing now. Adulthood in college, you was a young adult. Now you are a seasoned adult. In 4 years later, and there's certain things that saying that there's to be talking about. So I understand. So he brought that up and talked about his work ethic. A lot of times, we feel a little thrown off by people questioning who we are, but also
Mm-hmm.
we also sometimes get lost in the conversation of what we're showing and what it is that we're producing. So I just think that it's unfortunate it came out to that, but hey,
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. You're right. I mean, when it's all said and done, it is what it is. It
I
is an
thought this was
embarrassment not
so
to
funny.
Kyler Murray watching this required 4 hour session.
I thought that was so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Um, it's it is what it is. It is embarrassing to him as well as the organization um, for this to come out like that. But when it's all said and done, hopefully, if it was me, I hopefully this is what's going to happen. It fuels Kyler to go out there and play even phenomenally better
Yeah, remove all that.
this upcoming season. Yeah, this season he needs to come in there and just go straight ham and just shut up all the naysayers and put all that nonsense that they talking about Kyler Murray to rest and prove the player in which he is. And I think I think he can do that. Even though he's going to be missing his key receiver coming up, he still got Christian Kirk and some other players. He still
Oh,
got
Christian Kirk ain't
Ertz.
there no more. He got Brown now. Brown and Ertz.
Brown, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. He
Kirk
got
went to
Ertz and Brown.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, he got Brown and Ertz. So yeah. So with that, he just got to, show and prove. And hopefully it'll work out for the best.
Where Eric say?
Every time you make a mistake,
Oh
just
yeah,
don't come
without
up.
a
It is.
doubt.
You're right, Eric. Without question, you're right. Anytime looks like he doesn't, he hadn't paid
Any
attention to
multi interceptions? Yeah.
Yep. If he feels like if it shows as though he looks like he ain't paying attention or he hasn't did any film study because of the defense, yeah, every time that's gonna come up. Yep, you're right, and it's just gonna it's gonna put a dark cloud over him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And yes, Brown currently
and
he is. I think Brown is has
he
a
injured.
hamstring injury. Yeah, he's on the not physically
Oh,
able to. Yeah, he has a hamstring injury.
oh yeah, but he can come back. He'll be ready by the time season start though with a hamstring injury. He'll be back. He'll be ready by the time season start. As long as it wasn't like torn or anything. It just
Mm-hmm.
pulled, and yeah, he'll be back by the time season start, without question.
What else we have here? Yeah. So it's that's just maybe interesting. But we'll see. We'll see. Other conversation. Speaking of money, the boy DK Metcalf. Now you should be able to draft him and he'll be able to produce
That man,
fantasy
that
football. He
man
got he got
got that bag.
30. Look at drunk. Uh,
It's
you
that
should have
dude
really
cooking
seen
in the
yesterday,
back.
drunk.
Damn, I'm
Yes.
broke. Stop it, drunk. Here we go.
So like you said, DK Metcalf yesterday got his bag, receiving 3 years, $72 million extension. 58 million of that is guaranteed, and also recorded the record-breaking signing bonus for a wide receiver at $30 million upfront in personal, leaving basically 42 million, a little more than that. So making it feasible for them to be able to pay, do it spread it out over 3 years. Does this move the needle for Seattle in any way, except for besides, okay, we got DK Metcalf in camp, we got him. Who's the
Oh
quarterback
yeah,
though? Is that
that's
making
the
a
question
difference?
right now. Yeah, that makes a huge difference. So who the quarterback, who's going to be throwing them the ball and stuff like that. So that definitely plays a part. Um, but them signing DK was huge. That was major. I feel like that was very well needed because we know that DK, like we just spoke about him. DK was at practice, just sitting around watching them practice. Excuse me. So yeah, which I said yesterday, Trey. That would that upset you? Would that hurt the practice? Yeah, that's why they ended up signing him because he did exactly what he should have did. He came to practice so he wouldn't get fined, but sat around and just twiddling his thumb on social media or playing with his phone or whatever. Of course, you got to do something now because now he's there, and like you said, you can't send him home. You can't send him home because all the other players would think when it's their time for their contract, they're gonna do the exact same thing. So you got to do something. He kind of DK did what he needed to do and kind of forced their hand. What does this mean for Lockett? And they do got Lockett. That's right, they got Lockett too. What does this mean for Lockett AP? That means if he can keep up the numbers in which he's been keeping, this means that baby goat Lockett. He should expect a huge contract here in the near future too for Lockett. And in my opinion, and now that he see what DK he had, now he sees the recipe. He sees the actual means on what he should do to come back to the organization if he wants to stay here in Seattle and how to get his bag. DJ has set the standard. Lockett is on his way out. They just ain't moved him yet. Oh wow.
Nah, I mean for Lockett, I
I don't
mean,
see Lockett.
yeah, it's
Lockett is day second. I don't see he's so close to being the number one out there.
yeah,
I
and
don't
that's
know.
part. But I think, like we said, the main thing in my opinion is the
And
fact of
Brown hurt too.
who they got throwing. Like Small said, it depends on who they throwing it. Who's throwing the ball? You got Geno Smith. I don't want to talk bad
Mm-hmm.
on Geno Smith, but Geno Smith and Drew Lock. Well, I'm Drew Lock.
Mm-hmm.
So
Drew
I
Lock,
mean,
yeah.
as long as they don't trade Jimmy there, I'm cool. Like there's no, I don't give a damn what they offering. Don't trade Jimmy there.
Well, it's crazy because it's been stated now. We can't get on you no more, Trey, because they've officially named Trey Lance as the starter.
Yeah, I
He
told
has
y'all it
officially
was
been
good.
named. He been officially been named the starter last a couple of days ago. I want to say right before I came out here to Mexico. It was I don't know why you're doing all that, but anywho, it was been stated that he is the official starter. For I don't know why I don't know why you wearing that jacket anyway. But anywho, he's been named the official starter. So Trey Lance has officially got the position. Let's see if he can hold on to it though. Let's see if he can hold on to it. I still don't think he's going to be the guy that's going to surprise everyone this season. It's still going to be
I don't
Trevor
know.
Lawrence. Sunshine. Trevor Lawrence is still going to be that dude. Whether y'all fail to realize it or not, Trey Lawrence is about to be that man.
Eric is funny. Y'all gonna, you know what?
That part, Eric. That's what I'm saying. It's
All my
100
life,
something degrees outside. This dude got
all
on the
my
jacket.
life, all my life. What's
This dude got
good,
on the
Commissioner
jacket. 100
Myers?
degree weather.
All my life.
Morning. What up, Commissioner Myers? How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
See, here we go. You know what? You know what? We gonna have to sip chase
You
that.
only started him because you drafted him high.
It's like I
I
swear.
mean, and
Only,
that could be the case. But then again, Anthony Price, I don't see you really don't have a whole lot of room to talk. Y'all picked up Carson Wentz. That's not a good look. That's not a good look for the Commanders. That's not.
you know what?
But I mean, you know what?
Y'all gonna wish y'all had Carson when
Who gonna wish
y'all
they had Carson? We ain't gonna never wish that, bro. We ain't gonna never wish that, partner. I don't know
just
where
wait.
you got that from.
Just
We
wait
would
for it.
never wish that. Not gonna be able to do it. Not gonna be able to do it. We didn't wish that when we had Carson. We was happy with Nick.
Let's
Nick was the
act.
man.
Let's not act like. Let's not act like. You know what? This is what we're gonna stop doing. I'm not gonna let you sit on this show and disrespect Carson Wentz for the work he put in to put y'all in position
I'm
to
not
win y'all
disrespecting
Super
his
Bowl.
work. I'm not disrespecting his work. He just didn't finish the job.
When that man would sit up and doing all he
He did
can to
not finish
score
the job.
points and do what
He
he
didn't
can
finish
to
the job.
get y'all in position, and now we talk bad on him. He blew his he tore his knee up going to try to score a touchdown for y'all's offense at his in
That's his
his.
fault. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. That's what you're there for. Throwing the ball, not for
Thank
me
you,
running.
Eric.
You not.
That's what he's trying to do. You know what? He's a Philly fan. That's what it is. I
He
understand.
did number. I'm not knocking him for his numbers. All I said he couldn't finish. He couldn't finish.
He can't close the
He
deal, is
did
what
what
you're
he was
saying.
supposed to do. He came close. He did what he was supposed to do. He got a ring. He still got a ring. It ain't like he didn't get a ring. He
That
got a
part.
ring.
That's what it is. Is what have you done for me lately? That's what it is. I understand.
That's any organization, Anthony
No,
Price. That's
we
any
don't do
org.
that.
Any org is gonna be happy
We
with
don't do
just
that
like
in
they was
San
happy with.
Francisco.
Yes, I do. That just like y'all was happy with Garoppolo, and now y'all ready to get rid of him. Y'all was happy with him when he. Why wasn't Trey Lance playing last year? Garoppolo had
Because
a
he
bad
wasn't
shoulder.
ready.
Why
Garoppolo injured his
make
shoulder
him
in
ready?
the con. If Garoppolo injured his shoulder in
Make
the
him ready.
Garoppolo
Make
injured
him
his
ready.
shoulder in the NFC Championship game,
Make
where
him ready.
only two
Make
teams
him
could
ready.
talk about being in that game or in that round. Only two teams. One was Los Angeles, the other was San Francisco. He injured his
Make
shoulder
him
in the
ready.
NFC Championship game.
Make him ready. Make him ready. He's Trey Lance. Y'all picked high for him to get him.
Yes, but
Y'all
it
got him
takes
high in the
time.
draft. So make him ready. Make him ready.
It
Make him
takes
ready.
time.
Take time.
Y'all niggas start.
It
Y'all
don't
niggas
take that
start
much time.
Jalen. Y'all niggas start Jalen Hurts right off the back. Y'all had
We
Carson in
should
there.
have. We should have. We should have. We sure should have. I said that. I said that from the gate. Get rid of Carson and start Jalen. I said that from the out the gate when Carson was
Because
messing
he's
up.
an
I
Oklahoma
said put
Sooner. That's
Carson on.
why. You know what? He's probably.
No,
You
that
know
ain't got
what?
nothing to do with it.
He probably wear
No, that ain't
Alabama
got nothing
stuff.
to
He
do
probably
with it.
wear Alabama stuff under his uniform. That's what
Who?
Jalen Hurts. He said
Why would he do that?
he was in
Why would he do that?
Oklahoma, but he wears Alabama stuff under his uniform
Why would he do that?
because that's really where he wanted to be. Tua
He was
robbed him
there.
of
Why'd he
that.
leave?
Tua robbed him
Why
of
was he?
that.
Why was
He wasn't productive.
Tua robbed him of that? Oh my God! He had already won number one national championship with him the year prior. So why would he like?
And he was about to give
Why?
up the one that they was playing with. Tua had to come in and save them. And then the next year
And
he's out.
where's Tua at now? In Miami doing
In
nothing,
Miami, finish show,
playing
shock
like
the world.
playing like trash.
I'm gonna say it again. Y'all can time stamp that again.
Time stamp it.
Finna outdo
Time stamp
Brady.
it.
Finna outdo Rodgers. Finna outdo Mahomes.
He ain't finna outdo nobody. He
Statistically,
ain't finna outdo himself. He can't even outdo himself. I'm talking about Britt. Man, if you don't stop Trey, this dude here, bro, he is really on some other stuff, bro. Trey is really believing in this dude Tua. And the kicker is he the only one believing in Tua. Him and Cheetah, him and Tyreek Hill with the lies. He talking about, oh, he's the most accurate. Stop it. For one, Tyreek, how do you know that if you ain't been thrown to outside of Patrick Mahomes and Tua? Really? You don't know that. But you coming out here, I'd rather have Jalen Hurts than Tua. Thank you, drunk. But don't tell him nothing. You can't tell this man over here anything. You can't tell him
let's
nothing.
y'all
Don't
wait
worry
and
about
see.
it. I told you. Trevor Lawrence is going to have a better season than Tua. Trevor Lawrence will have a better season than Tua. Without question. Watch what I tell you.
Isn't even going to have a better. Lawrence isn't going to even have a better season than Trey, let alone Tua, who's
yes. It's probably gonna be Tua, then Trey, and then Lawrence. From the bottom up. Yeah. Tua, Trey, then Lawrence. Yeah. Tua ain't got no dog. I'm be trying to tell him, drunk. He don't understand, man. He going off of what he did, came out and played and took over for Jalen.
Let's make sure we fully understand. I don't have any true. I didn't like Tua coming out of Alabama, out of college, But
So
what
what do you
I
like him
have,
now for?
but
Why do
I
you like
have
him
watched.
now?
I think he's growing into the position, and he's coming over the adversity.
Oh
So
my!
that's why I like
How?
him now. He
How
has
do you feel
weapons.
like
He has weapons.
he, he, he had weapons? Don't do that, man. He had weapons
Think
before.
of it like this.
He had
You
weapons. You
think
give
of it
so
like this.
Tyreek Hill is not weapons.
Ukraine was doing damage
Get
with
out of
what
here,
they
man.
had. You give them weapons, and they're able to be a better, able to be a better force
Stop it, Trey.
against the Russian
Trey, stop
adversaries.
it. Trey, stop
You
it.
give something or
He's
somebody
still the same
weapons.
Tua. He's still the same
No,
Tua throwing the ball. He's
no.
still the same dude throwing the ball, bro.
if
He's still
you
the
if you
same
walk
dude
around
throwing the ball,
if
bro.
you walking around with a bunch of your friends that are millionaires, even if y'all are just on the cusp or saying half a million dollars or whatever case like that, you start doing and walking around and acting as such with the people around you because you have to upgrade yourself to be able to stay, saying, to at least be able to be in that same atmosphere. He, even if he was trash going to, he has weapons, plenty of weapons
If
now. He has to upgrade. We're not gonna act like Jalen Waddle caught those passes on his own to put him in position to be the receiving the rookie receiver he was. Tua threw them to him. Upgrade. Now you get a formidable person on the other side with some good running backs in the backfield. Upgrade. They already have Mike Gesicki at tight end, who is a gem a gem in his own right. Upgrade. Tua is going to be better than what we've seen in the last couple of years. Not to mention that not saying that Daniels is better than Flores, but McDaniels was the reason, the constructor of the offense in which San Francisco was running last year with a little innovation. Upgrade. So that's why I say Tua is going to be a different situation with Tua, in my opinion.
Tua's not gonna do nothing. If y'all believe that, I got some swamp land to say, y'all.
Just
Tua's
wait and
not
see.
gonna do y'all. Tua's
Just
not gonna
wait
do
and
that.
see.
He may become a bit better, but
This
he's
is
not going to be what
disrespectful.
everybody thinks.
This is disrespectful.
He's not about to be. He's not going to be what everybody think he's going to be. Like Trey about to say, he's not going to outdo Trey. He's not going to outdo Jalen. He ain't going to do. Damn sure ain't about to outdo Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to do none of that. None of that. And guarantee after this season, Tyreek Hill gonna wish he was back in KC. Flores literally lost his job because he didn't want to, and the owner did. Watch this. Tyreek Hill is gonna wish he was back in KC after this season. Watch what I tell you. He gonna wish he was back. He ain't may not come out and say it, but deep down he gonna wish he was back in KC, Kansas City when it's all said and done. Tua's not that dude, man. I'm telling you. Trevor Lawrence,
The disrespect.
Jalen Hurts, all them cats gonna
You know
play
what
way
I
better
realize?
this
You
year.
know what I will say one thing for you, Bishop. You stay true, and you stay true and committed to people, to those things that are connected to your squads. Doug Peterson,
What is
you believe Harley highly in,
Oh
Baker
my God!
Mayfield,
How does
Jalen
Doug, how does
Hurts,
they, how does Doug Peterson have
CeeDee
because he came from the
Lamb,
field?
Marquise
I,
Brown,
you're right.
uh,
I stay true
uh,
to them because I know
what's
what
his
they
name from
capable.
Cincinnati?
They came from who?
The running back.
Oh,
Uh,
Mixon,
Joe Mixon,
Joe
like
Mixon.
you stay committed to
You're
these
naming
cats,
you're naming
but
all stars. You're naming all
you won't
stars.
commit to
You're
Lincoln
naming all
Riley in
stars.
USC. You won't even mention the
Cause
quarterback
trash.
names of Caleb Williams
He's
or
trash.
Rattler, and
Rat's trash.
they're alumnus,
Trash.
but let them go in the NFL and do something. Now all of a sudden you welcome them back into the fold. Y'all guys,
No, I'm
man,
not. I'm not finna welcome back in the fold. If Spencer Rattler and Caleb, whatever his name is, enters the NFL, makes it
why
into the
why
NFL,
is it that Caleb gets the disrespect if you don't know which his name, but Rattler gets the whole name?
I,
What did
I,
Rattler?
I didn't mean Spencer Rattler wasn't supposed to get his own name either. But either way, if anyone, I'm not claiming either one of them from Oklahoma when it comes time. I'm not. I'm not claiming either one of them. No matter where they go, I'm not claiming because if both of them left, I'm not claiming either one of them. Nope. Sure am. Sure am not. Sure I'm not. But I will claim the Kyler Murrays, the C.D. Lambs, the Baker
Hollywoods.
Mayfields, the Hollywood Browns, the Mark Andrews. You're right. I sure will. That's right, because they come from them boom sooners. You're right. I sure will. All day, baby. and twice on Saturday.
Well, of course,
Let's go.
Saturday.
And Sunday.
That's
Twice on Saturday and Sunday. Let me add Sunday in there too.
you
They
say
play as soon as
committed
play
to
on Saturday, and as soon as play on Saturday, and the NFL players play on Sunday. So I'll do Saturday and Sunday. There you go.
you say committed to them dudes. I would say that.
Why wouldn't you? Why
Andrew,
wouldn't
you
I?
know what? Andrews, okay. I can give you Andrews.
What? You gave me Joe Mixon? You're
Okay,
crazy.
yeah,
You can't give me
Mixon. Yeah, Mixon. I can give you Mixon.
you can't give me CD Lamb?
No.
Are you serious? You're right.
No.
You're drunk. You can't give me Kyler Murray. You're really drunk. You can't give me Baker Mayfield. You're even more drunk. You can't give me Hollywood Brown. You're drunker than drunk.
Those last
Stop
four,
it, bro.
Those last four.
Stop it, bro. All of them cats is finna shine bright this whole upcoming season. All of them. Brown finna have back record numbers now that he's over there.
Eric must be a Cowboy fan. Eric, you a Cowboy fan, aren't you?
Lamb top 5 receiver this year. I told you that, Trey.
Stop playing. He's not even a top 5 receiver in his division, let alone the.
Are you serious, Trey? Who
in the division is? 5. Who's
name the top 5?
You talking
about the NFC East, or are you talking about the NFC period?
The NFC East at minimum.
Okay, tell me the top 5 in NFC East.
We can sit up and name the top receivers and say if he's in there. Think about it. From your team alone,
he's in the top 5. In the top 5, he's in the top 5 in his NFC East.
Well, he might be because the Giants are lacking.
Who the Giants got? Yeah, who do Washington have? And who does Washington?
Washington has Terry McLaurin. He's definitely not Terry. Terry McLaurin is better than him.
CD's better than CD's
no.
Better than Terry
Stop
McLaurin.
It, Bishop. Stop
CD's
playing.
better than Terry McLaurin. CD's better than Terry.
Not.
Thank you,
oh my gosh.
Yes. CD is better than Terry McLaurin.
No,
he's better.
Stop that.
Really?
Stop it.
Only person that's out there that's
AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, even Devontae Smith.
And then CD Lamb.
CD Lamb. Who we missing somebody?
No, we're not. No, we're not. CD Lamb. No, who?
Somebody.
No, you can't even think. Stop it, bro. CD, thank you, Eric.
Well, okay.
He will be the top. You know what, Eric?
He's top 5 he's top 5 in his division, but not the NFC.
Like Trey said, y'all timestamp this. CD Lamb will be one of the top 5 wide receivers this upcoming season. As long as Dak don't screw him over. As long as Dak don't screw him over, he will be
this
the top.
Part. CD Lamb isn't better than Allen Robinson. He's not better than Cooper Kupp. He's not like those. That's just with the Rams.
He's in the top 10.
Is he better
than
the
top 10?
Is he better than DK? Is he better than Lockett?
No.
Is he better than Debo?
I'll give you Debo.
That's 5 receivers loaded out there right there. Not to mention where the pecking order with Brown, Devontae Smith is, and Terry McLaurin. Is he better than Jefferson? Is he better? He might be better than Thien.
Mm-hmm.
Is he better than Jefferson?
Yes.
Oh, what? Stop playing. You know better. At this point, you put it on for your squads because he's not better than Justin Jefferson in no way, form, or fashion. So you know what I'm saying? When you put there, it's more. I know. Is he better than Evans, Mike Evans, in Tampa?
No.
Is he better than Michael Thomas or Jarvis Landry in New Orleans?
Better than Jarvis Landry, yes. Thomas, no. But Jarvis Landry, yes.
He's nowhere in the top 10. He might be in the top 25 in the NFC.
Raylan, my fucking beard. Hey, baby. Look at my niece. Y'all see my niece. This is my frat brother, my LB, man. Kratos' daughter. They just got in this morning.
What's going on?
Good morning, Uriah. Good morning, Coach. This my niece has made it in, Raylan.
Drunk. He did say that. He did say that.
He said what? He said he better than. I did say
that. Look at Anthony Price.
That is better than Scary Terry. Really? Bishop, turn around and ask your cook who's better, Lemon. Really, Anthony? That's what we doing. That's what we doing, bro. I bet you he had better numbers than McLaurin this year.
He said, "Hell, I'll be better."
Hey, I bet you have better. I bet you have better numbers than Terry this year. Watch. Now that what's McCall's going out of
Mm,
Dallas, I bet you gonna have watch
I
because
would I
he's the
would
number
say
one
that
now. Watch.
I would say that, but we all know that his primary Dak's primary receiver is Gallup. That's his favorite receiver.
He go. That's what he thought. So. This is what Dak thought. That's what
What's going to
Dak
happen? So
thinks.
he thought.
That's what he thinks. He thinks Gallup is his primary receiver. CD gonna show him different. I'm telling you, bro. Watch. CD gonna have better numbers than McLaurin. Watch.
It's no way.
Watch. Okay.
There's no way.
Y'all have now, and this is the thing, right? The reason I say this, I watched CD when he was in OU, bro. The boy is a beast. He's a beast. Watch. He ain't even unleashed himself. He ain't even been unleashed yet. Watch. When
And
he's unleashed,
part of the reason I think he can't get unleashed is because Dak has a preference. It's a difference. Dak has a preference, right? He's going to get. I'm saying that. See, I'm not saying CD is not going to eat, but he's not.
so
going
you
to get
saying
back.
so let me say this. So with that being said, so you saying because Cheetah is over in Miami, whatchamacall is gonna fall?
Who?
Waddle.
No,
Waddle.
no.
Why
I don't think
not?
so. I don't
It's
think
a
it's
new
going to fall.
receiver. Why not?
Yes, true
That's
that,
gonna
but
be
I
his
mean,
favorite.
what I'm saying
But
is, in
why?
this case,
Is Cheetah gonna be his new favorite now? He's
I,
new over there.
but we
Why
don't know
Waddle
that.
ain't gonna be his
So,
favorite?
true enough, we don't know that. But what we do know is Gallup is Dak's preferable. Gallup was Dak's favorite receiver when they had what's his name, who went to Cleveland, and they had
Um,
Lamb when they had both of them. So it's why would it change when now he has one is Amari Cooper. When he had Amari Cooper,
Mari, yeah.
yeah, when he had Amari Cooper and CD Lamb, Gallup was his favorite receiver. Now Amari Cooper is gone, CD Lamb is there.
So okay, so
Amari,
like
so
I
I
said,
think Gallup.
so what when you say Waddle was Tua's favorite receiver? When you say Waddle was his so now what? So are you saying now why
But
Waddle won't be his favorite receiver now?
it's I mean
Even now Cheetah is over there.
I mean there's a difference because now Tua's getting to throw to somebody else. What I'm saying the difference in that situation is that all three of them were there at the same time. It wasn't a new person being brought into the organization. Now he having to get acclimated to this person. All of them were there, and that was where he decided to go to. Only one of them got removed from that, and now this is where they are. And then on the flip side of that, with
Joe, don't
Carson
make me run.
Wentz, true that drunk, he was the only receiver too. With the flip side of that is with Carson Wentz, let's not act like Carson Wentz can't be a good quarterback. He makes questionable decisions, but when he's on, he's
That's
on.
all. That's all Carson Wentz's problem is he makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
Not saying
So
Carson Wentz can't throw the ball and he's not a good quarterback. He is because we've seen what his
yeah,
capability.
what he can
He was
do.
up
Yeah.
for MVP. He was up for MVP. That year he did everything for Philly. That year when we won the Super Bowl, he was up for MVP. But he got injured and some things like that. But
And then yeah,
outside
his
that,
decision. So he's questionable decision
Carson Wentz
making.
just makes bad decisions.
So
His
if
decision
Carson
making is
Wentz
horrible.
if Carson Wentz could remotely get on track, the only receiver that they have for the most part in Washington is Terry McLaurin, who is pretty good. They have some other receivers, but Terry Lauren is pretty good. So if they can click, that's where I say that Terry Lauren is going to outplay statistically. He's going to outdo CD because of differencing. My initial thought. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say that one is better than the other, but I think it's going to be a difference. Is it safe to say if we can get if Wentz could be on point, is he able to outplay Dak Prescott? I don't know.
He
Is he a
can.
better?
He
Is
has the
he better than a
capabilities of
quarterback?
outplaying Dak Prescott. He does. Yeah, you good? No, you good. He actually has the ability to outplay Dak Prescott. He can. Carson Wentz has that
Yeah.
capability.
So
The problem is, can he alleviate the decision making part? I'd rather have Wentz or Baker right now.
Wentz.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Wentz.
I don't
It's a
know.
hard one,
I
but
don't
I
know,
take
right?
Wentz.
You know what? And Trey's gonna say what he's gonna say, and I don't care. But me, I would possibly because we've had Wentz before. I'm gonna pick Baker. I've had Wentz. I know what Wentz brings to the table. We've had Wentz in
So
Philly.
you're
I
saying
know
that
what Wentz brings.
you're
So I'm gonna
saying
take Baker all day.
Wentz is the bad parts of Wentz outweigh his good parts is what you're saying. That's obviously what you're saying.
Yes, because his bad part. Yes, because his bad parts of his decision making has been costly when it comes to winning and losing games. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I feel that you're Wentz hurt. That's what I feel. They're Wentz hurt. That's what I'm getting. Wentz hurt vibes. That's basically what it is. Because you have been crapping on Wentz since he left the Philadelphia organization. Even the last year he was there, you have been crapping on Wentz. So I think you're just Wentz hurt. I think that's what it is.
It could be Wentz hurt. You could call it that if you want to. He's
Because
yeah. I feel like we
there's
should.
no way you're choosing Wentz over Baker Mayfield over Wentz.
Why? What? Tell me. Okay, let me explain to me, Trey, why
The
you pick Wentz
maturity
over
factor
Baker.
we talked
You
about
have. Here
yesterday.
we go. What mature? Show me. What have you seen outside of what?
You know
What
what? I'll give you.
have you?
I think
Oh,
Baker.
get the baby. She is close to that water, and ain't nobody looking.
I think
What
Baker.
have you seen
I think
by
Baker.
outside of what they told you about Baker? What have you seen that was immature of Baker?
Come on, we ain't gonna act like we. I don't want to go way back, but we're not gonna act like when he planted the flag in the at Texas, he ain't sit up and
We're
like.
talking about OU, bro. We're talking.
Well,
Let's talk about
that's just
college.
the
You
start.
talking
Okay,
about college.
that's just the start.
You
So
talking about
to
college. Let's
that,
jump into
good
the
point. Good
NFL.
point. Good point. Good point.
Let's go into
Coming
NFL.
into the NFL, I think that Baker has a certain dog about himself. He has an edge. I
He
would
has a
give.
he's
He has
very
a.
what do you call it? Not he's very go ahead, keep talking. It'll come
Yeah,
to me. I can't think of the name.
he has an edge. He's gritty and he has an edge to himself. But that doesn't translate into what we see from Wentz. If you look at the two of them, like we just say, outside when Baker makes bad decisions as well, outside Carson Wentz's bad decision making, Baker's bad decision making. Yes, Baker won a Heisman Trophy, but say if Baker was at Ohio State, and they was up against each other, would Baker have won the Heisman Trophy versus Carson Wentz? We gotta remember Carson Wentz was at North Dakota State, so you're muted.
That part. This is the thing. This is why Carson Wentz is because in that brings me to this too. Baker QB IQ is horrible. I disagree with you, Eric. This is the thing, right? My thing. If Carson Wentz, mind you, Carson Wentz is like 6'3", 6'4". He's the prototypical quarterback. He's 6'3", 6'4". Baker Mayfield's only 6 feet, 6'1", 6 feet, 6'1". With with Carson Wentz, if he was that prototypical quarterback at the size in which he is, I'll be at North Dakota State. Of all the schools,
Okay.
one North Dakota State.
You say
You know
nice.
nice.
I like that comeback. I like that comeback.
You know,
like
if you're that dude, even Tom Brady is the Tom Brady is the GOAT. Came out of Michigan. Prototypical 6'3", prototypical whatever quarterback, all of that. But if you're Carson Wentz, you went to North Dakota State. And don't mind you, it's a college, it's still a university. I get it. He's won championships for them. I totally get the whole thing. I got it. However, 6'4", 200-something pounds. North Dakota State is the best school you could have went to. North Dakota State? Come on, man. Y'all gotta put that in consideration.
I see you with the blow. I see you blowing up the blowing the stage up, taking it from underneath my feet.
Let's go.
Still on target. I feel you. Okay. 1 round fire for effect. I got you. I feel you. Okay. I can rock with you on that one. I'm quiet. I'll go back to my
I'm just saying, and that's anybody. Anybody on here, y'all can explain it to me. Y'all explain it to me. Y'all can do that. You cannot base it off what college they went to. Why not, Eric? Why can't you, Eric? Why not? Don't get me wrong. Every college, we know a lot of colleges pick. You have an opportunity. Well, I won't say that. Not everybody. You don't have an opportunity to go to any college you want to because you can only go with ones that accept you. I think I'd rather have Wentz. He just throw better to me. I've seen what Baker got to offer, and it ain't much. I disagree. And this is what I'm going to tell you, Drunk, and Trey going to probably feel different. Baker finna really show y'all in Carolina, bro. New scenery, new. If he's the starter, he has to get the starting position. Yeah, he has to get the starting position.
He has to beat out Darnold first.
He does. He has to beat out Sam. And I feel like he has the capability of doing that. But we'll see. We'll see if he does. But I totally feel differently. I do feel like Baker is a force to be reckoned with. Is he the best? No, definitely not the best. Is he in the top 10? Absolutely not. Is he top 15? Probably not. Um, but I feel like he could get there. And I think Carolina is that team to get him there. I do. I really believe that. I truly believe that without question.
And so and just like like Jerry Eric brings to the point, Jerry Rice, so we get like that point, like, and that's what we're talking about. Like, we can't, the school is one thing, but the person is where it's made at. And sometimes you have the situation to where, like, you just, like, greatness is just that. In cases like Jerry Rice, the GOAT of receivers, came from Mississippi Valley. And
But see, this is the thing. You said explain, Eric. I'm gonna explain. It's only one word or a phrase.
Work ethic.
Position.
No, really?
No, position. Yeah. Well, because receivers, they come a dime a dozen. Receivers come a dime a dozen. Quarterbacks come a dime a dozen. However, Shannon Sharp, Savannah State, got you. Shannon Sharp, Savannah State, got you. I'm not knocking these small schools. I'm not knocking these D2 schools. I'm not knocking the HBCUs. I'm not knocking any of those. I'm not knocking it. Please understand, y'all. I'm not knocking these smaller schools, the D2 schools, or anything like that. What I'm saying is, if Carson Wentz was that dude,
why wasn't he get an offer to a big name, like a big, or even the other five school?
Yes, that part. That's all I'm saying. If Carson Wentz is all of that, he came out of high school like everybody.
BYU, Boise State, or something like that. He was at North Dakota.
That part. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think that's also because of where he's from. I think he just stayed loyal to where he's home. I wonder, did he get other offers?
And some people do that. Some people do that. You know what I'm saying? Some players do that. They'd rather stay close to home because they're used to that. They're familiar to that. They've never been away from home, so they choose to stay closer to home. And I totally get that. But those three players, which y'all named, Jerry Rice, Daniel Jones, they still went to big schools, man.
Yes, Drew.
HB was Savannah State. I know that's an HBCU. Duke, we know they're not known for football, but that's still a big school. Their basketball is their thing.
They're still a Division I. He did.
Yes, he did go to North Dakota State. And look at it. Big Ben went to Miami of Ohio.
Big Ben, Byron Leftwich, Randy Moss.
A lot of. I mean, look at him. Lamar Jackson went to
Louisville.
Louisville, but it's still D1. Still D1. I'm just saying that for me, I feel like that plays a part. I feel like to me that raises a flag. Not necessarily Trey a red flag, not necessarily a red flag, but it raises a flag. Because if you're 6'3", 6'4", 220, 230, prototypical quarterback, why North Dakota State of all schools? Like you, I would love to see how many schools were after him, and if he just chose North Dakota State and stuff like that, I would love to know that. But for the most part, yeah, why North Dakota State and you're the prototypical quarterback?
Because I know you have an affinity for Oklahoma, but what if Syracuse was after you? Are you going to Oklahoma or are you going to Syracuse? You get an offer from Syracuse?
So because that's the Big East, right? That's the Big East. So Syracuse. So I would, if Oklahoma wasn't available and I couldn't get to Oklahoma, I would go to Syracuse. I would go to any school.
But if Oklahoma is there and Syracuse is there, I'm going
Oklahoma. Oh, I'm going Oklahoma. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Without question, bro. If you had USC and Penn State, who you picking?
USC, but there's nothing.
USC and Penn State now.
I'm picking USC.
Let's put it like this: USC over anybody. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, I'm playing USC over anybody, but that's only because my home school, my favorite college team is also my quote unquote where I'm from, my home where I'm from. Because I mean, the only thing other closest to it is Compton College, and there's no way I'm picking a 2-year school over. You know what I'm saying? In that case, I could go to Compton College and USC at some point, but there's no way. So that's the only reason in which I don't have affinity for LSU because I'm here in Louisiana. I don't have an affinity for any school in Texas because I spent the majority of my military career in Texas. I've always been USC, everything when it comes to that, and there's no comparison for that. So that's why it's different for me as opposed to like I was saying for you. We know you Oklahoma is you, but your home college, which would have been Syracuse, which would have led to. So that's one reason I had asked that because that's like yeah. So yeah, that's all it is. That's why it would be USC for me in any way, form, or fashion. Uh, Leading back into my beloved 49ers, they released D Ford, defensive end D Ford, awfully injured defensive end D Ford was released. Had a consistency with back problems, which ended up being damning to his career. He stated that he will continue to rehab, but at this point, it doesn't look like any team is going to want to pick him up. It's just saying too much there. Uh, just like we had D Ford, it was another player we had got during our time frame, in which now both of them are gone. I wonder when they do that type of stuff, do they look at it like he's still owed $12 million on his contract, in which is going to be spread over the course of the year or 2 years to make him to pay him for that. So this is that type of stuff where goes back into yeah, D Ford was nice, but it's just the injuries. He really wasn't there. He wasn't available. So it's like this is the type of stuff that goes back into that invested interest things where you do one thing, you scoff at it, you be like, you pick and choose. They knew D Ford was injury prone, but they took a chance on him. No different from the Kyler Murray situation, or a couple of any other situations where you kind of know some things, but you want to make sure you protect your interests. And what I see here is we have a potential position, a point of evolution in different things. Like the way things used to be done are now starting to be changed because now we have different thinking thought processes and different avenues to where it's like, okay, now we can change this and says we don't have to settle at the status quo because it's not the norm. And now, some unfortunately, D Ford is gone, no longer a 49er. Maybe Philadelphia picks him up. Uh,
Who? Pick up who?
yes, exactly, drunk. That was D Ford. That's exactly that part. We got rid of DeForest Buckner, not only to pick him up, but we also got some assets back in it in draft picks. But we gave up DeForest Buckner basically. Like that that part, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. We could have Buckner and Bosa, but we gave him up when we got Ford to try to bring in from the linebacker position, the defensive end position, and it just didn't work. When he was there, it was good, but he wasn't there the whole time. Um, Other conversations, other talk. Dallas running back Ezekiel Elliott is basically playing in his last year of his contract. So this is a contract year for him. He is owed $2.4 million on his current contract, which he's currently owed $12.4 million. He is able to make up about $11 million next year, but only if the Cowboys decide to keep him. So right now he has no money. He has 1 year. He has this year and next year left on his contract, but he has no money guaranteed after this year, in which he can earn $11 million next year. But in the last 5 years, he has went from 108 yards. in 5 years, he has went from 108 yards rushing average to 59 yards last year. So just like Eric is saying, he had his best year. I don't know what y'all think. Does Zeke get business taken care of? Do you think it's a situation to where next year he gets a chance to play for that 11 million, or do you think he backs in? Now, I will say this: although he was injured last year, he sustained his injury in the week 4 of last year. He came back and he ended up finishing the year with 1,004 yards rushing. So he had a brief hiatus, but he was able to ink out a couple of years here and there. So it's interesting to say. I always support him. I feel you, drunk. Uh, not gonna fight for him. Of course, like your Coach Rod says, expectancy in the league is usually decreased much. True enough, it's becoming more of a passing league, Coach. Yes, Pollard is his name, Eric. Pollard definitely is going to be, make a difference. Or like we said, Pollard made a difference last year for the most part, in which he kind of pushed. So Pollard finished last year like Ezekiel finished with 1,004. Pollard finished like 736 yards last year. So definitely making a name for itself. Where now we're probably it was Ezekiel's backfield. Now it's them. Yeah, now it's them sharing the backfield and maybe potentially even pushing Zeke out. Business is business, and like you said, there's no money owed to Zeke after this year. He can make 11 million next year if they go ahead and pick up the option, or they could probably go to him and ask him to take a reduction, or basically let him go, let him walk, and see what Pollard can do and give Pollard a little more money than what he's making. So it's able to, we'll see. And so I mean, and that type of stuff happens. Like at this point, when you're looking at it, it's like, okay, we paid you based off what you did initially. What you came back and showed us with a couple of injury, because he did have a PCL injury last year. You came back and showed us something different. Like I said, in 5 years, he went from 108 yards rushing to 59 yards rushing. That's a tremendous drop off. We talk about 50 yards of average 50 yards a game drop off, or in years. So it's like he's just been, and he's been going further and further down. So I see, like they said, I see yesterday with Coach Wayne had a post, and one of the comments was, "I see he chooses violence today, and I see Wayne continues to choose violence as Uriah comes, I guess, is on the threshold of his home, and he's going to hand him the trophy in which he had equal opportunity to win, in which it just didn't work out for Coach Uriah, but I see Wayne is with it this morning." Gotta love it. But yeah, so it remains to be seen how that's going to happen and what's going to happen. Okay, nice comeback, coach. I see you. I see you, coach. Rings. At least y'all got receipts. In-state receipts. Always got to have receipts. Keep them receipts. Um, but yeah, so I wonder, will I saying will like how everyone's saying, will Ezekiel Elliott be productive this year? Like this is a contract year. Is he going to play ball out this year, or is it going to be a situation to where like what is considered balling out though? Is getting another 1,000-yard season balling out, 4-yard season, or something that's within that realm? Is that balling out? Does that get him another shot at becoming another opportunity for a contract year? Or does he need to do more? Does he need a 1,300 yard season? Does he need to be pushing for offensive player of the year, rookie? I mean, or MVP of the year? Like, what does that entail for Ezekiel Elliott? Um, he feels pretty confident that he's good. He doesn't have nothing to worry about, and that he's going to do work. So I don't know. What remains to be seen. A couple of things in reference to Pittsburgh. So if we got any Pittsburgh fans out there, Don, I don't know if you own or you listen. This is for you. What's going on in Pittsburgh? Ben Roethlisberger has left. After leaving, of course, naming rights get changed. We no longer see Heinz Field anymore. He has never been in MVP talks, no. But I think he have made a play for Austin players in the was a rookie year. But Pittsburgh, you completely do away with the naming rights. No longer Heinz Field. Now Actor Sure or Insure, Sure or something like that. And now you have a little beef or tiff going on with your soon-to-be named Hall of Fame quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben as he's known. Correct. True that, Wayne. Okay. Still characters feel. All right, I see y'all going off. Yes, basically that's what's going on. So right, so Big Ben and defensive captain Cameron Hayward have been going back and forth because Ben has stated that he believes that is more of a culture. The culture now is more of a culture to where it's about me, as opposed to when he was around, it was a culture that was about the team. So the me versus team culture, in which Ben has stated that is where it's all about now. Uh, and Cameron Hayward kind of like rebutted that comment, because Ben was like, when I was around, it was more about me. It was never a situation to where we was worried about certain things. Cameron Hayward come back on, and he stated that it's not that he didn't agree with Ben's comments, and that kids, especially rookies or those younger the younger generation, have different situations. They come from different lifestyles, different issues and problems, in which they make decisions based on that. Additionally, he stated that he would always be come to the aid of his teammates and never and be there to defend, and never let a situation go where he doesn't talk about it. Uh, he puts the ownership on the veterans of teams, as well as the owners of teams and the coaches and all those people, to basically help them with any transitions or the situation, to kind of like remove that me versus team attitude, and it's not on the individual for the most part in that aspect. So he feels that Ben was a little out of pocket in the comments in which he made, and thought that he had to come to the aid in the defense of whatever said teammates in which he was saying, which probably for the most part spans across the NFL and other places as well. But it was Ben who stated it, talking about it for in reference to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So of course, Steeler fans, is there a little dissension going on in the steel curtain? Like Coach Uriah says, the curtain has failed. No longer a steel curtain. Now we got blackout curtains with drapes, linen. That's what's going on. Eric, just like he said, they're in a rebuild phase, which is probably a lot of teams that actually are in that. They're looking for a quarterback, maybe. Even additionally, there has been reports out of camp that their number one draft pick, selected 20th overall, Kenny Pickett, is having issues, and it seems to be a problem with his arm strength. So you look at it like, okay, we did all this scouting, right? We selected this guy 20th overall. And we already have Mitchell Trubisky in camp. We got this guy 20th overall. And now we see that he doesn't have the best of arm strength. Like, what do you see this, if you're a coach, and let alone GM, do you see this as a potential issue? What are you doing? What is your thoughts when you get these people in camp and you're ready to go, and you're thinking like, okay, I got it. This guy was a potential Heisman candidate. He was a Heisman hopeful. He beat the opposition. Came out of obscurity, out of nowhere, and became a household name. So we draft him. After drafting him, you realize, yo, this kid does not have what it really takes. Or you start to see red flags. One being, a quarterback needs to be able to get the ball at minimum maybe 30, 40 yards down the field. They're saying that he's lacking arm strength. What are your thoughts? What are you doing? What's your mindset if that is the case? Please let me know in the comments as we continue to move on, as we see it. We'll double back and see what it is. What we talk about Kenny Smith and his lack of arm strength, as is possibly being stated. Uh, Moving on over to my current neck of the woods, in that know ya baby, Michael Thomas, after an 18-month hiatus, is back on the field. That black and gold were represented. So it's been going for 18 months because, as we know, he was dealing with an ankle issue during a game in, I think it was like 20, like 2020, I think. 2020 to 2021, he was in the game in which one of his teammates rolled up on his ankle, which caused him to be down. Roger that. He's able to prove coach. So and I understand that. It's just the initial, like, okay, like, we drafted this guy. I don't think the initial is when you come in, you expect him to get stronger. because it's going to be a different training regimen. But initially, that's like if you got a player that you've seen high of that's coming in, coming to the installation, you see, okay, they drive, they can drive, get to the rim easily, forceful, and then he gets fouled and he goes to the line. Or when you've been watching him, then y'all playing practice, he goes to the line. You be like, all right, like shooting drills, free throw drills, and then you look, and this dude has problems shooting, getting into the rim. It's like, what the hell have we just got ourselves into? Or, like you said, more buy-in from the coaches to make it work. As Bishop was saying, make them better, make them ready. I get it, but that's just like that's not what you expect when you look at that. But yeah, wide receiver Michael Thomas is back, making an appearance after 18-month layoff. As like I said, he was injured due to the ankle injury. Now he's back. With him being back, do you foresee a possibility of him being a number one receiver again? We know you have Jarvis Landry that's there. You have a couple of receivers that have been there as fill-ins, kind of like floating the ship in some aspect. We don't know what's going to go on with Alvin Kamara. He's still looking at potentially facing some type of issues or charges for his what he went through in Las Vegas. Taysom Hill has converted from quarterback to tight end, so now he's a passing threat. I don't know how much of a threat, but he's a passing threat. Do you think that Michael Thomas is able to reclaim a number one wide receiver slot in the NFL after that layoff? When you look at it, it may be possible when you look at it due to the fact of he's now he's without he has never really had another receiver kind of like to that has pushed him, but now Landry's there, so it could be Landry maybe could push him, relegate him down to where he has less looks, um, or even any other young guns in which they got. Oh, Chris Olave's there too now. I don't know. Is Olave, Chris Olave, the rookie? Can he possibly be better than him? Uh, and you also got, like I said, Jarvis Landry. Can Jarvis Landry pull a dark horse move and move into that spot? Like they have a little more possibility. I think it's going to be one of those situations where, obviously, who's able to connect with Jameis for the most part. If Jameis is going to be, if they can, Jameis can give them the ball, or if it's going to be a situation to where they just have to go a whole different route. But they have more options now, and as well as like we were saying, some of the players that was there last year that are still there, they have an option too. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Uh, mm-hmm. 30 times. All you need is 30 times, sir. All you need is 30 times. If like you appreciate, shout out to James Wilson for making me formidable in another position. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it could happen or it could not. I mean, Jameis was 5 for 2, 5 and 2 before he getting injured last year. He was looking good, so it may continue to be the same. He might be able to keep the same energy coming back. So it's interesting. I look forward to seeing it, of course, with the season coming up. Uh, with the season going the way that it's soon to be, to check it out. Like I said, on the 4th next week, we'll have the um, the Hall of Fame game, and then after the Hall of Fame game, get back into a couple of preseason games, and then after the preseason games, the season starts. So a lot more to be seen as we come out. Uh, excuse me. So yeah, so a lot more to come out eventually. So it's gonna get hot and heavy for the most part. Um, something that we didn't get to talk about with Devontae Adams. As we know, he had a slip up of words as he was talking to reporters at the practice a couple of days ago, in which I guess they asked the question of what if there's any difference or any adjustment issues as he's adjusting to uh, getting thrown the ball from Derek Carr as opposed to Aaron Rodgers. And Adams' response is going from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer. You're there's going to be some adjustments you're going to have to make and to be able to adjust to them. Of course, that caught everyone attention because now you're looking at, are you saying that Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr are the same type of caliber quarterback because you're basically calling Carr a Hall of Famer based on what he has done, which when you put it up against Aaron Rodgers isn't much statistically. So of course, he had to backtrack his comments, and in that he had to basically come back on, and he had to clarify, like he misspoke. He's like, I believe that Derek Carr is a Hall of Famer, but yeah, he's happening. You're saying, Carr a Hall of Famer? I don't know, man. I just don't know. I'm still out. The jury for me is still out on Derek Carr. But in any case, he talked about Derek Carr being a Hall of Famer, and in that being said, with him being that he had to go back and retract his statement and bring up and talk about whether or not he was a Hall of Fame. He was saying that Derek Carr is a Hall of Famer in that aspect. He was basically trying to say that Derek Carr at this point is he was trying to make the point that if you were going from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer, this is where you would be basically. Not saying that Derek Carr is of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, that this is where at the point at which it be. So that was he had to backtrack those statements. Of course, you don't want to feel like you're disrespecting your current quarterback or disrespecting a great by saying they're both Hall of Famers. Is Derek Carr a Hall of Famer in his own right? I don't know. 1 second.
No, Derek Carr is not a Hall of Famer. He's not nowhere close to being a Hall of Famer as of yet. He got some more to prove to become a Hall of Famer, man. What has he done to really be considered a Hall of Famer? Excuse me, man. I had to excuse myself for a second. I'm back. I see Trey's on the phone, but yeah, Derek Carr is definitely not a Hall of Famer in my opinion as of yet. He does have the capabilities of becoming one. Just going to show his hand. Whatever, Anthony. Ain't nobody studying you, bro. But yeah, Adam's just happy to be in Vegas. LOL. Carr is a. I don't know, man, Anthony. Now don't get me wrong. Devontae Adams is definitely happy to be there because that's his old college quarterback. So you know, just like Hollywood Brown is happy to be over in Arizona with his old college quarterback. No, she's got to eat her breakfast with Kyler Murray. So speaking of which, that's one person we forgot too. He got Hollywood Brown too now. I forgot all about that. So I personally feel like, Derek Carr is a good quarterback. I will say that. And he should do well this year with Devontae Adams being added to the lineup. I think that'll be great for the Las Vegas Raiders. And they should make a push with that squad. But we'll see. Only time will tell. We'll definitely see. Only time will tell. We talked about a few things.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't know where they get that from, Bishop. That's Anthony with the shenanigans. I don't. But I mean,
about Carr,
yeah, about Carr. Yeah, Carr being. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know where they get that from yet. He's good, but I don't know if he's at Hall of Fame status as of yet. What puts him in the Hall of Fame already? Where you going, girl? Like, wow, I don't even think anybody has anyone been questioning or mentioned Carr going into the Hall of Fame as far as sports analysts? Is that something that came up?
Nah, but it was talking about because Devontae Adams said had that comment in which he said that is like going from one Hall of Famer. When you go from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Fame quarterback, there's going to be adjustments. And then everyone had
Oh,
had something huge to say about it. He had to backtrack and say, "Oh, wait. What I was trying to say is, even if you go from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another Hall of Fame quarterback, this is where you at with it." That's what he's trying to say.
oh, saying in regards to Aaron Rodgers, that bad man, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
basically.
yeah, well he's definitely a Hall of Famer, but you definitely can't compare Aaron Rodgers with Derek Carr. No, that would be very disrespectful. Aaron Rodgers is definitely way better than Derek Carr, without question. So
Let
yeah,
me see. So Derek Carr's so far numbers, career numbers: 31,000 yards, 31,700 yards in 7 years. One, two, three, 7, 8 years. In 8 years so far. Like I said, 31,700 yards, 193 touchdowns.
thank you, sir.
Uh, he has a 250-yard average.
You like it?
How many interceptions thrown? 85 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
65% completion rate. 57-70 in his lifetime. Do we have any playoffs? And he's only been in the playoff 1 year.
So are those playoff, or so are those
Hall of Fame
Hall of
numbers?
Fame?
They ain't looking too good for the home team, bro. Let's see.
Yeah,
They ain't
those.
looking too good. And not to mention, I don't think Derek Carr has any Pro Bowls.
Don't
So
have no Pro Bowls.
I don't think so. Let me go back and look. I was
He ain't got
just
no
looking
Pro
at it.
Bowls.
I don't
There's
think
no
he
way
had
he
a
can
Pro
be in
Bowl.
the Hall of
Oh,
Fame.
I stand corrected. He has 3 Pro Bowls.
Okay. Okay. What individual accolades do he have?
Let me see. He is. Let me go back. Where it go? Where it go? Derek Carr. It's coming up. One second. Does it come back up? Derek Carr. That's it. 3 Pro Bowls. He's been with the same team for since 2000. He's been with Oakland, or as I say, the Raiders. He's been with the Raiders since 2014.
And that's the only accolades he has. Is
Yeah.
3 Pro Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
That's not enough. That's not enough. That's not Hall of
Oh
Fame
well,
caliber.
okay. Well, let's say this. Let me see. Let me show 3 awards. He was in the top 100 players in 2016, 17, and 18, where he was number 60 in 2018, number 11 in 2017, and he was number 100 in 2016. He was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week in 2016. 2021, he was the AFC Offensive Player of the Month. He did win the AP Offensive Player of the Year in 2002. Is that in career? And he's a in 2002. AP. Where else? 3 Pro Bowls, like you said, 15, 16, and 17. Best. Oh no, that's not the AP player. He was 6 in the AP Offensive Player of the Year voting. Yeah, that's it. Those are all for his accolades. His career QB rating in 2009, he had a QB rating of 64 in 2019, which allowed him to be in the top 10. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, those are good accolades, but that's not enough to get Hall of Fame.
He's for they have
In my
there's a reference monitor for a Hall of Fame monitor. It would say he's currently at 34.3, which puts him 82nd among QBs, and the average Hall of Fame QB monitor is 100.4. So he's nowhere in that, like you say, conversation. Now, when you do something like bring up like an Aaron Rodgers, even though that's not comparable because Rodgers has been doing it almost close to 2 decades. Rodgers, 10-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro, a Super Bowl champion, 4-time MVP for two different organizations. Like I said, Super Hall of Fame, all 2010 team. Uh, yeah, a couple. He's out there. 53,000 yards passing. Let me see. What's his Hall of Fame monitor? 187. Third among QBs. Yeah, it's definitely you can't compare the two in any way, form, or fashion. So yeah, so when you look at that, definitely a complete different. So it was only right, you know what I'm saying, with no disrespect, for for Devontae to change his mind and backtrack that. Uh, so I see no quarrels with that. I see no problems. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. Although you're supposed to speak up for your new quarterback, but be truthful to him at the same time. Um, what else we got? What else we got? I'm sorry. As I go through, I got to backtrack. Uh, so moving into a little NBA talk, NBA conversation. Of course, we know the NBA. Like I said, season ended is and they're basically being going with the draft happened after the draft. The summer league happened after the summer league. Now it's basically somewhat of a vacation as a team to kind of like get their juices revved up, getting ready again because we're just going into August. So roughly about 2 months, 2 to 3 months before they start there. Usually the season starts in around mid October, late October timeframe. So now they got to get kind of situated again before training camp starts. So in that, there's a lot of stuff going on off season. So this is a lot of off season talk. Of course, one of the things that came out is new rookie phenom, I guess you could say, or rookie star or rookie standout. Paolo Banchero has been courted by shoe companies in which he has decided to go with one particular one. He will be a part of the Jordan brand going forth.
Do you expect anything else to put him to go to the Jordan brand? Like really? Like how do
So
you? I don't care who approaches you. You really gonna deny the Jordan brand of
you know
all
what? I
brands,
think
bro?
I would. I think I would.
Are you? Hey, where everybody at? Y'all know that's Trey. There go
I
Trey with
think
the
I
nonsense.
would. I really
Why?
would.
Why?
He has other ways to
Why?
forge his own path. Like he could. It's like he could have went with Nike in general, which wouldn't have been too far off. He could have went with Nike. Puma has been new on the come up. He could have went over. There's no other people with Steph and Under Armour. He could have been up. He could have became that for Under Armour.
But they make
Uh,
ugly shoes, Trey. That's why
you
they
become
make
a
ugly
game
shoes
changer. You can become a game changer.
by changing the shoemaker. That's how you got
Just
to
be
change
like,
the
I don't
shoemaker
like. I
because
don't
them
like this
some ugly
shoe.
shoes.
Because they go like Adidas is ugly shoes, in my opinion. Definitely Adidas is ugly shoes. So that are what you got other ones that are out there. Puma, like I said, you see what Puma and Lamelo's doing with the colorways and stuff like that. Like he could have went another route. He didn't have to. I mean, and it also depends on probably what they offered him. Like what did they give him? What did they say? How many shares was he getting? What exactly did they offer him? I know I was looking at the other day where Brandon Haywood, senior, had an opportunity to where back when it was a while back, like back when Magic was coming in, so I guess in like the 70s or something like that, where Nike offered him 10 10 offered him shares at 10 points or take $100,000. And guess what he took? Of course, the $100,000, in which now the
The
shares are worth.
$100,000.
Yeah, now the shares are worth. Though had he took the shares would have. He had still had them would have been worth $10 billion. So, like, you know, what I'm saying, we make decisions on certain things. It's just when I look at that, that's why I said maybe I don't know if I would have just went with Jordan all automatically, even though, you know, what I'm saying, that's where it's at. But uh, I don't know. Of course, I would have had somebody that would have been there to advise me, and I would have took the vision into consideration. But like you said, did you expect less? Would you go? So it's safe to say you will go the same route, Bishop. You're going Team Jordan as well.
Absolutely. Without
I was about to say,
any question
do you
asked.
even wear Jordans? But I was like to say, yes, y'all do.
Bro, don't do me. Don't do me. You
I just feel different. You know, like I'm a Air Force One guy, so I would have been Nike. I would have seen if we can make a Nike basketball shoe, Air Force basketball shoe, instead of how they are now. So, uh, more conversation. This comes up, and I'd like your take on this, Bishop. Zion Williamson. We know he just signed the contract, $193 million extension. Um, what was not known until of recent, probably because of the Kyler Murray situation, he has a stipulation and an addendum in his contract as well. He has to stay under 295 pounds. If he cannot do as such, he could violate the contract in which he would not get in certain monies. Is this another form of disrespect, or do you see this as being different? Let's see. When you look at it, weight clause. Yeah, he has a weight clause. He has to remain. He has to keep his body fat and weight under 295 pounds for the duration of his contract, which he'll get random weight tests to see where he's at with his weight. I think currently or right now he's looking at 282 currently. Let me see if I can pull some stats in reference to. So if anyone out there, what is this? It seems similar in my opinion to that of of Murray's contract. Do we feel that this would be something? That would be something in which to talk about. Is it the same? Is it different? What's the difference? In any case, they're both protected interests, in my opinion. So what do y'all think? Let's see. Williamson. Let's see. His currently 6'6", 284 pounds. So they're trying to keep him at 6'6", under 295. 284, I'm saying. 284. So he's 10 pounds, 9 pounds, 11 pounds. Can he do it? I'm sure he can. They have him working with a new physical trainer, to where the physical trainer says that he's trying to help him to reach his goals and what he needs to do. So for the most part, it could be a situation to where he does get to where he needs to go. In which it remains to be seen. Um, he may or may not. I don't feel anything wrong with it. Like at any state, or everyone know without me being called cheat that at all times, anytime, in all times, basically, organizations do this to protect their interests. At this and protect their interests, they they put certain things out. I think one of the things that could have happened is you keep these things off the record as opposed to putting in, like say, certain addendums could be put off to the side. Have make sure you have a binding agreement between one another, so that way it doesn't get into like the mainstream, like what we had seen with the Kyler Murray incident. Or sometimes you let that stuff go because you're trying to um, play the ends against the middle to force someone to take a look at it, and which might have been the case in the Arizona situation with Kyler Murray. So in any case, it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Going forth, I guess if you stay within your reasons or do what you got to do, you don't have to worry about the addendums. That's i.e. with weight, um, i.e. with studies or anything, or also in the regular life aspect. So um, that's actually the show for today. I appreciate y'all being with us today. I'm getting like messages blown up where I gotta uh I gotta get to a couple of things in reference to work. So I'll be sure, you know what I'm saying, it's Monday. Be sure to be with us 090 to 1100 hours, Monday through Friday. Y'all know what it is. First Formation, Morning Sports Talk. We look forward to seeing you then. We look forward to talking to you then. So high speeds, enjoy your weekend and fall out.